Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well and that you guys are also enjoying hopefully the weather wherever you guys are. It is a pretty nice day today, but it's also past the afternoon, so if the light is a little bit darker, I apologize for that. But anyway, for today's video I thought that we could get ready together, and I am kind of just going to allow myself to play with whatever I want, specifically with the more pricier and luxurious items in my makeup collection. So I will be showing you guys a lot of my more high-end favorites. I do have a summer makeup kit that I'm trying to stick to, I guess, during these few months, but I kind of have been having a bit of a rough week, so I'm just wanted to sort of just have fun and play with whatever I wanted to. So yeah, if you like project panning, shopping your stash, and just using what you have and using up your products, then I hope you consider subscribing and joining the family. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So things have been a bit rough for me, not really, crazy, but when you're just traveling and you're trying to get everything ready, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And also on this past Monday, I also sprained my ankle in Taekwondo. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna continue with the makeup. So I don't have a high-end primer, so I'm just gonna use my the e.l.f. Power Grip primer with 4% niacinamide, and I'm just gonna apply that all over my face. This is my daily primer because I have finally finished that Blur face primer, so that's really exciting. And I'm just going to put this all over my face and let that sit. I really want to try this Anastasia foundation a little bit more, so once we get into this, maybe I can talk a little bit about my week. But first I'm also going to go in with the Halo Glow liquid filter that I have from Lilia. I still don't know how to pronounce that. So I'm just going to put this on the high points of my face. I like this more than the e.l.f. one, actually. It's just thinner and I feel like it really melts into the skin. I'm going to take my brush and buff that in. So the reason why my week has been kind of rough is because this past Monday I sprained my ankle pretty badly in Taekwondo, so it's been really hard not being able to walk and kind of help out around the house before we leave. My grandparents are also coming today and they're visiting from Taiwan, so that's super exciting. But I also just wish I could help my mom prepare the house better for them when they come over. I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation now. And I think this foundation is a little bit dark for me, so we'll just see. And maybe a little bit yellow. But I'm just going to dot that all over the face. And I don't want this to take too long because I want to finish quickly. And this is supposed to take only about 15 minutes. But I'm talking, so I don't know how that will go. And I'm just going to tap that into the skin with the foundation brush. Okay, I guess that wasn't as yellow as I thought it would be, but still was a little bit. And then for concealer, I'm going to take my Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear, and I'm going to apply that under the eyes. And also on any spots, because it's quite a bit of a darker shade. My nose is so flaky and I don't know why. Sorry about that. And also on my veins. Honestly, I've gotten so injured all the time now. Like, it's so funny because when I did kind of land on my ankle like that, I was in, mid-air doing a double kick or whatever, and a double front kick. And basically, when I went down, I felt the pain. I just knew I had to collapse. And I did a dumb thing, which is walking on it right after, but don't do that, don't do that. But yeah, basically walked on it right after I heard it, which probably made it worse. But I didn't feel any pain right after, but yesterday, which was Tuesday, and today I don't know, it's been a little bit better, but definitely yesterday I was feeling a lot of pain in my heel. But I was honestly just laughing about it, even though I did cry a bit, because I just get so injured all the time, and it just was funny in the moment that it happened again. For bronzer or cream bronzer, I'm going to take my Bounce Magic Fit Cream Bronzer and Highlighter Duo from Beauty Blender, and the bronzer is in the shade Buff. It's so cool. It comes in like a 2-part compact, and I barely use this, but it is really nice. So I'm going to take this and apply it on my face. Tapping right in, putting the excess on the back of my hand, and I can mix it a little bit with that foundation to create more of a natural shade because it is quite warm. And then you can barely see it, but it's there. Apply that to the face. The texture of this bronzer is quite moussey, almost whipped. Whereas compared, I guess the only comparison that I have would be the e.l.f. cream palette. I'll put it up on the screen. That's like one of my favorites, but I'm not going to purchase it until I'm done with some things and finished up with some other bronzing products. But that one's more almost thick, but like balmy a little bit. It's more emollient and packed. I feel like there's not as much air in it. And for my favorite blush formula or liquid blush formula right now, at least more pigmented one, is the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, and I have the shades Believe and Grace. I'm going to mix these a little bit. Grace is a little bit more matte, and then Believe is a little bit more dewy, and I do prefer the more dewy formula, but I'm trying to use up Grace. So there's Believe and there's Grace. I'm going to take Believe, and with the tip of my brush, I'm going to go on the back of the cheeks and bring the color toward and forward toward my eye. This way I have a little bit more control over the product because these blushes are quite pigmented but still very blendable. And then I'm going to mix those two colors together because this color is a little bit more punchy, and target that on the center of the cheeks. Not going past my pupil here. A little bit on the nose, and the chin, and the top of the lip. A little bit. And I have a little bit more blush, so I'm just going to pile that on top because when I put powder on, I almost said butter. When I put powder on top, it's going to mute the color a little bit. So I'm gonna make sure this is pretty punchy on the cheeks. Just like that. For powder all over the face, I'm going to take this mini Laura Mercier powder. I think I got this from a Sephora birthday present or birthday gift maybe a year or two ago. So I'm just going to dust this on the outskirts of that blush. And then for under the eyes, I'm going to take probably my favorite powder for under the eyes, and it's the Fenty Beauty Lavender Powder from the Pro Filter line. Mine has a bunch of fingerprints on it. And this was recommended by my friend Judy, but I also like her have some yellow in my face or in my skin tone, so this purple kind of cancels it out and really brightens my face. So my trick is to just have one hole open, so I taped a bunch of them down, and I'm gonna tap some into here, and then taking my powder puff, I'm going to press it in here, fold it a little bit, and tap off any creases, and go right in. It's super brightening, but that's how I like it. So a little bit on the nose. Swirling that and dusting it off. Now for brows, I'm going to take my AOA brow gel. Since I don't really have a high-end product, I don't really buy high-end eyebrow products ever. It's just not worth the money. And I'm going to take this gel and run it through my brows. And this way, before we move on to eyes, I kind of have an anchor point about where my eyeshadow is gonna go. I feel like my brows look so bold and scary, but hopefully they'll calm down a bit. It'll look better when the makeup is complete. Okay, brows are on decently. Moving on, we're gonna do eyes, and this is my favorite step. So for eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using my lovely Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette. This is my favorite high-end palette, probably in general, just because of how pretty it is. So you kind of get your cool neutrals, but it's also really fun with these grays here, and then there's a little pop of blue. So we are definitely going to be playing with this palette today, and I'm going to show you guys sort of my, I guess, kind of favorite look, or just look that I like to do often with this palette. So I'm going to first take this transition shade here, this rosier one, and I'm going to put that in the crease, diffusing it outward and also pushing that into the lid, and also on the lower lash line. These mattes are very powdery almost, so if you guys like more of a pigmented, less, I guess, powdery shade, more like a creamy powder, this is probably not for you, but I actually quite like it because it's buildable, but also if you make a mistake or something, it's pretty easy to fix. So I'm just going to build that color up, and basically whatever you do to the top, do to the bottom. And because I have more of a hooded eye, I'm going over that crease. I'm putting the eyeshadow higher than my crease. This is kind of going to make the illusion that I have more lid space than I really do, but it's also going to add a little bit more dimension to the eyes and make them look bigger. I'm going to take this gray shade here. I don't want to go too smoky, but I do like a little bit of depth, and I'm going to press that into the outer corner. I love these grays. They're almost like blue grays. They're so pretty. And I'm just going to pack that onto the outer corner and blend that out into this V shape here. And bring that right on the outer corner, hugging that outer lash line. Next, I'm going to take this really pretty navy blue. It's not even it's almost a navy, it's something. And I'm gonna put that right where I put the gray. Not as high, not like this side, oops. That's okay. And I'm going to just tap that right there. And again, putting that right on the outer corner of the lower lash line. I'm gonna take a fluffier, clean brush and just diffuse the edges here. It's okay if it gets a little bit out. I'll show you guys how to fix that in a second. And you just have to look straight into the light and see what you have to balance out. So for me, the other side is way more diffused than this side. So I'm just going to go back in with that brush and really blow it out as much as possible. If you have your foundation brush and you were a little bit off the edge, you can always just go over it with your brush and fix it. Then I'm going to take an angled brush and go into this black here. And I'm going to basically hug the lash line when I do this. And just apply a little bit for the definition. And because my eye is so small, from my pupil, like the center of my eye, I'm going to make a little wing here. And bring that out straight and almost fill in that wing here. I'm going to take my e.l.f. primer for my glitter again and gently pop that over the lid. And I'm going to do one side at a time this time. I'm feeling a little bit blue, so first I'm actually going to go into this taupey shade. Oh, so pretty. I'm going to press that on the lid first. Just tapping it. Makeup by Maro sparkles are honestly next level. Like, almost like Fenty Diamond Bomb, but like with a little bit more color. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of primer on. Okay. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of this shimmery shade. It almost shifts from a, can you even see? I don't know. It almost shifts from like a blue to a pink. And I'm going to put that right on top of that. Pretty. Honestly, when I use this palette, I can't help but have fun with the shimmers and go a little bit more crazy and smoky, which is my favorite. Alright, so that's on both eyes. Very nice. And then for the inner corner, I'm going to take my lovely Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Enlighten. Mine is repressed and hanging on for dear life, but that's okay. I'm going to apply that on the inner corner, into the upper crease, like that. And also right on the lower lash line here. So next I'm going to apply mascara, and I'm first going to go in with my L'Oreal Lash Paradise and then my Clinique High Impact Mascara. Okay, seriously though, how do people talk while they do their makeup and like give a story? Because I feel like I can only do one or the other, and I don't know how to talk with you guys. What do I even talk about? What would you guys like me to talk about? Ow, I just pinched my eyeball. See, exactly my point. I guess I can talk about a little bit about Taekwondo, but I've only started to do it about like, I guess almost 2 years ago now. I feel like it's been longer, but I did have to take a hiatus because I injured my knee pretty bad, and then I just had to take a break. So I was out for like 4 months because I was lazy on going back to physical therapy, so that's my bad. And then now I hurt my ankle on the same leg that I connected to the same knee that I got injured. So just chaos, honestly. I don't think I curled that side enough, but that's alright. I'm going to use my Ofra bronzer in South Beach, and I'm going to take this lighter shade, dab it on the back of my messy hand, and a little bit of that dark shade too. And I'm just going to dust this a bit on the tops because this blush is quite cool tone, so I don't want to use too much of it. This looks like a very wintry makeup look, but I'm telling you, this is literally what I wear when I want to feel happy. I lean into my cool wintry tones even in the summer. And then I'm going to top it off with my Dior Nude Air Luminizer in the shade 4. This is a bit too deep for me. If I was purchasing this myself, I wouldn't have gone this deep shade, but I use this as a bronzing topper. So we'll just do that really quickly. And then for a highlighter, I'm going to go in with my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. A really, really pretty toasty champagne-y shade. I'm gonna gently brush that over everything. Very nice, no cast. And because I can't get glowy enough, I'm gonna top that also with my highlighter from Rare Beauty. I'm going to take my LA Girl lip liner in the shade Chocolate and line the lips. And you guys know me, I take my finger and blend it out so it's nice and soft. And then I'm going to take my favorite lip shade of all time, which is the Satin Lipstick by MAC in the shade Faux. It's this really pretty cool tone mauve shade. I love this shade so much. And I'm going to apply that right on my lips. Very nice. And then for final touches, what I like to do is just take concealer and go over any spots. Now I'm gonna take out my clips here. How do I get that to not hurt? And I'm going to fluff up the hair a little bit. Alright guys, so this is the end of the video. This is the final look that we came up with. I think it looks really, really nice. I love just having sort of these grayish blue tones on the eyes and more of the mauve and cool toned lip and cheek products, as well as a nice highlight. I just really like everything about this look. It is a bit more smoky than I would usually go for, but that's okay. I think it's just really pretty overall. And this is definitely a me look. Like if you think of what kind of look does Hannah love to wear, it's gonna be cool tones, it's gonna be gray, it's gonna be mauve and a little bit of pink all over the face and a popping highlight. So yeah, I think I'm ready to take on the rest of my day, even with my injured ankle. And I think I'm just feeling a little bit more pepped up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for getting ready with me and watching. If you did all the way to the end, it means so much to me. I really do hope you guys have a wonderful day, have a blessed day, and take care. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!